welcome to my channel. My name is Shade and you are on tuning into Shade's life testimony. Thank you again for viewing my videos. I appreciate you for coming back again another time. I understand that I haven't been consistent because lately, to be honest, I have been down and out, and it's been months I've been feeling this way. I haven't been to church in a minute. I just don't have the energy or the strength to even get up out of the bed and go to church. Nobody talks about the struggles that you go through once you give your life to God. It's not always going to be easy. When I just got baptized and I gave my life to the Lord, I was thinking that everything would be smooth and my life would be perfect and everything would just be going great, and that is not the case right now. Can I explain why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling? Maybe not in words, but God understands. And God never promised us that our lives will be smooth and everything will go great. He says, take up your cross and follow me. Take up your cross daily and follow me. And trust and believe. I have been going through. And what is keeping me, because I understand why some people backslide, because being in a state of you're just here and you're in a waiting period, you're waiting and you're not seeing anything happening, and you're saying, but those out in the world, they are living their lives and it look like them enjoy themselves, and you there I try live holy and righteous and nothing not going for you. So I kind of understand why people would backslide, but the reason why I am not going to go back, regardless of the fact that I haven't been in the house of the Lord for a minute now, is because when I was at my lowest low, it was God who saved me and give me a personal encounter, one that I can never forget, will never forget, and that's what's keeping me right now grounded and just holding on and having hope and faith that things will work out and I will get back on track. Not worrying about those who might be judgmental or judging you because you're not operating the way they think you should, but because of my personal encounter with God, and He is the one that saved me. It was no man that saved me, is the reason why I'm here. And let me just talk about my personal encounter. It was, I guess I was a very stubborn person, and maybe that's why my encounters are the way they are, or it's just the way that God made me, and this is the way He communicates with me, right? So I was going through something, and I broke, and I know you can't say the word on the internet, but I broke, and I was doing something very stupid, and if it wasn't for God's grace and mercy, then I would not be here today. So I want to thank Him so much for that, and that is part of the reason why I am holding on, and I don't know why I'm getting emotional, but yeah. So I remember being so depressed and and sad and to the point where I had no hope, and I decided to change up my room and get things, get the place a little lighter to see if I would feel better, and that did not work. And I remember just sitting down on the edge of the bed and just crying and say, God, I remember saying, I said, God, why do you hate me so much? And it was in that moment, I felt, I would say, a wind, a whoo just came over me. And I remember hearing and saying these words, that I am the Lord your God, thou should have no other gods but me. He said to me that you might not understand why I allow you to go through the things that you have been through. He said to me that in the end you will understand why I allow you to go through the things that you have been through. He said not to worry and understand that I love you and you are my daughter. And in that moment, I remember feeling something lifted off me. And that's why I strongly believe that depression is a spirit. And it lifted off me. And for the first time in a long time, I saw colors. Like, I could see colors. I went outside and I looked in the sky and I could see the blueness of the sky and the clouds, and everything had color. And I was taking this deep breath. I was breathing for the first time in a long time. And that's just where it started. And I was feeling good, and I was going on with my life, and I went back to my old self. I felt better and I went back to my old self. But that was not enough for God. And I remember going to bed, and I slept. I went to bed. I was doing something on the internet. That's something that I had no business doing. Signing up for these dating sites. And I went to bed late that night, around 1:32. And I remember I went into a dream. I was in my bathroom. And it felt real to me at the time, because I hold out my hands like this, and I went and I could feel my hands. I could feel my body, And I was wondering to myself, is this real? Or if this not real, it real or it not real, And I realized when I looked around in the bathroom, the face basin was not there. So I said, oh, this is a dream. But it felt so real that I could not determine whether it was a dream or not. And I remember looking over to where the face basin was, and there was no face basin there. There was no wash thing there. And the pipe connection, there was just water gushing out of where that face basin should have been. And the bathroom was flooding out. Right? And the shower was also flooding out. And before I recognized that it was actually a dream or a vision, I was about to turn and to go and cuss my little brother and say, why you flooded the bathroom like this? You have to go wipe it up. Because me now wipe it up. And yeah, I eventually realized that it was a dream. Right? And then I remember feeling this presence in the bathroom. And when that presence entered the bathroom, I remember I just went down on my hands and my knees in the water, right? And then after that, I remember hearing a song coming out from the heavens. And the song was, are you washed in the blood, in the soul cleansing blood of the Lamb? Are your garments spotless? Are they whiter than snow? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? And I remember hearing that song, and there was this pull. It wasn't a forceful pull, but it was a pull that wanted me to go under this water to be washed. And I remember resisting the pull. And I said in my mind, because everything was in my mind, I was saying in my mind, I said, if I go under this water, then I'd have to give up everything. And I didn't want to give up everything. I loved my sinful lifestyle. I love sin. Sin did nice. You know what I mean? I didn't want to give it up. And I remember the presence was on this side, on my right side. And he said to me, I said, I want to show you something. And he walked over to my left side. I was still on my hands and my knees, right? Why this, I was still on my hands and my knees. Why this, what do you call it? The light bugs, whatever they want to call it. I don't know how I'm getting my room. But yeah, I was still on my hands and my knees. And he come over to the left side and he said, I want to show you something. And when he said, I want to show you something, I remember the ground that I was on, it opened up. And when I looked down, all I saw was lava, like lava. And I couldn't understand at the moment what it is I was looking at. So I looked to the left, and as far as my eye could see, it was lava. I looked to the right, and as far as my eye could see, it was lava. I looked in front of me, as far as my eyes could see, it was lava. It was like a sea of lava. And it was taking me along, and I was going along this sea of lava. I could somehow feel the heat, but I wasn't feeling the full impact of the heat, because he was beside me. In my mind, I knew that it was the reason why I wasn't feeling the full effects. It was because he was beside me. And I was just moving along, and I was so scared. And I said, I don't belong here. I don't belong here. Get me out of this place. Get me out of this place. I don't belong here. I don't belong here. What me I do here? So get me out. I'm not supposed to be here. And I was so terrified. If a man hold a gun to my head, I don't think I would have been as scared as I was then, because a man holding a gun to my head, thinking back on it, it would be better than for me to be there in that place. And I said, I don't belong here. And when I said I don't belong here, I saw it was the life I was living. I saw the lies and, the partying and the bad word cursing and the drinking and the smoking and everything. I saw everything flash before my eyes. It's like I was watching like a screen of my life. And in that moment, I realized that I do belong there. And when I realized that I do belong there because of the life that I was living, I started begging, please, please, please. I started just begging, please. I said, don't show me anymore, please. Don't show me anymore, please. And I remember I looking up, and I said, Lord, please don't show me anymore. If you show me anymore, you're going to ruin me for the rest of my life on earth. No, he did not announce that he was Lord, but his very presence let me know that he was Lord. And when I looked up and I said, Lord, please do not show me anymore. If you show me anymore, you will ruin me for the rest of my life on earth. Why would I say something like that? Ruin me for the rest of my life on earth. Then he looked down on me and he said, okay. And he turned and he walked. And when he turned and walked, the door just closed like that. And I was still on the bathroom floor, and I was just crying in this dream, in this vision. And when I woke up and I just started bawling my eyes out. I just cried and cried and cried, and I couldn't go back to sleep. And I was so uncomfortable in the morning when I actually get up out of the bed. I was so uncomfortable because something just didn't feel right with me. And I couldn't keep steady. And my friend invited me to church. And I went to church. And I was annoyed because I'm going to church, but I haven't been to church in years. I was annoyed. The pastor annoyed me. I was just annoyed. And voices were talking to me, leave, why you do here, and I belong here. And I'm like, if me leave it, I go look away, and this, that. Because my friend was inviting me to church for a while now, and I was not going. But because of that encounter, I went, and I didn't tell anybody my dream when I went. I told no one, because I don't want nobody to think I'm crazy. Like, me go down in a hell, me see, like the lake of fire, I did not want anyone to think I was crazy, right? So yeah, I had these voices talking to me and telling me, leave, you don't belong here. And I'm like, in my head, I'm talking back to these voices. And I'm like, but if I leave it, I go look away. Then the voice said, go and use the bathroom and just not come back in. Take your hand back, go use the bathroom. Pretend like you go use the bathroom and don't come back. And I said, but it's a go look away if me not come back and my friend invite me and whatever. And I'm back and forth in my head. And the pastor up there preaching and I'm in my head, talking in my head like me crazy, you know. And I know a lot of people don't believe in demons and spirits and stuff like that and being possessed and oppressed. And a lot of people don't believe in deliverance, but I've lived it, you know. And so I sat there because if I left, it would have looked away. And I remember at the end of the service, I'm like, okay, service finished. I'm going to get up out of here. And I remember the pastor point me out and he said to me, he asked me a question. And he said, young lady, what will your answer be today? And when he asked me that question, it's just a regular, he didn't say, oh, the Lord, you know, it wasn't like no big nothing. He just asked me a question, what will your answer be today? And in that moment, I realized that the dream that I had, God was asking me, are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Are your garments spotless? Are they whiter than snow? And if not, if you're not washed in the blood of the Lamb, then that place that I showed you, that will be your end, that will be your outcome. And never understanding the language and knowing like the Bible as much as I do now. I know a little something now. Then I didn't. Because I didn't understand that there is a lake of fire which is in the Bible, and that is Revelation 20 verse 10. And the devil who had decided them was thrown into the lake of fire and sulfur. So there's actually what I saw, that must have been the lake of fire. And the only way that I could explain it was like it was volcano, or it was it looked like the volcano thing. And I didn't know that it was the lake of fire, but I know it was terrifying. It was scary, you know. And I realized God was asking me a question, and he wanted to save me from all of that. Save me despite who I am or who I was. And I changed that day. I came home, I deleted all my music, because me is an alkaline girl, you know, me love alka. And I delete all of my alkaline them. I deleted my Vibes Cartel music. I clean out my playlist, right? And I started listening to gospel music, and I started repenting. I didn't even know what like repentance really was, but I was saying, God, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I didn't know, because really and truly I was studying with the Jehovah Witnesses, and they told me that there is no hell. So when I saw what I saw in that dream or vision, I was you know, surprised, and I was saying I didn't know. And when I said I didn't know, and I was crying in my room, I heard a voice said, how could you not have known? I've sent preachers, I've sent teachers, and I've given you the Bible. How could you not have known? So a lot of us here, and we're playing ignorant to the fact that there is a hell. God is going to ask you, how could you not know? I have given you so many clues, and I've given you preachers and teachers, and I've given you the Bible, but yet still you chose not to read. You chose not to be in the know. And you're going to have to give account for that. And so my journey began. And I was reading the Bible on my own. I didn't know what I was reading, but I was just reading. And I remember I was just so curious and excited to know more about God. I remember seeing these people on the street side of Jamaica, because I live in Jamaica, for who don't know or who will be watching this video, in Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica. Yeah. And I was going to buy groceries, and I saw a group of people. They are the true Hebrew Israelites people. And I stopped and I spoke with one of them. And because I was worshiping and doing, you know, all these things, because I found, you know, this new joy, you know, inside of me. And he said to me, and I started asking questions, and, you know, and they said to me that the God that I am worshiping is the wrong God. I am worshiping the white God, and God is not white, God is a black man. And they gave me the scripture about his woolly hair and stuff like that. He was telling me about his woolly hair, I think, and God is not white. And I'm like, I was confused. And because of what that Hebrew Israelite person said to me, I said to God, I came home, I was washing the dishes, and I said, God, I said, I can't pray to you anymore because I was told that I'm praying to the wrong God. And if you're the wrong God, then I can't pray to you anymore and I can't worship you anymore. And so I kind of pulled back. And I wasn't doing as much, you know, but I was talking to the Creator. And say I'm not racist or anything, but I was talking to the Creator and say, I heard that I'm praying to the wrong God. And I mean, I didn't have a church home, I didn't have a lead, I was just doing this on my own. I got delivered in my home, and everything just happened in my room, in my home. And so when I said that, I remember a few days later, I had another encounter. And I am tremendously grateful for that encounter as well, and I will be talking about that. And God has been just so good to me, you know. And even in my down season right now, he has been very patient with me, and he's very patient with me. He's very gentle with me. He will rough me up when, you know, he needs to, but he do it in such a way, in a loving way. So yeah, I will talk about the other encounter shortly, but let me just stop the video right here for right now, and then I'll go into the other encounter. All right, so thank you for listening. There will be another part to this. I hope it reaches who it's supposed to reach. And I have put videos out there, and I've hear people telling me, oh, you're not a Christian because you're wearing false hair. Oh, you're not following Christ because you're in makeup. You're not following Christ because of this or what you're wearing or whatever. You're wearing pants and whatever. I have gotten so many messages about that. It's not even funny. And at one point, I felt so bad that I stopped doing videos because me a liar, and me can't God no Ella, and God couldn't show me that I wear makeup and false hair and whatever. You name it, me hear it. And I guess everybody have to work out their own salvation, and this is me working out mine with fear and trembling. And if God say, okay, do not wear this, I will not wear it. But I have not gotten that right now. And again, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And as I said, I hope it touched somebody, and I hope this is confirmation to somebody that God is real, hell is real, and there is hope in Jesus, and there is hell and there's a heaven. Be blessed and stay tuned for the continuation of this.